Well, today's a special day for a lot of people. It's Valentine's Day.
Price of roses has gone through the roof, but today we're going to learn some marriage secrets, from love secrets from 3 of our couples in the ministry. I'm looking forward to learning something new here.
One of the big questions we always get is, how do you know that they're the one, you're supposed to marry? And that's a good question, because marriage is intended to be forever, and you don't want to marry the wrong one, obviously, and it can make life very difficult, or it can be a blessing, depending on who you marry. And one of the things for me is that when we married, and when I, decided that you would become my wife, and you were the one, was that, did you serve the Lord? Did you have a passion to serve the Lord? And one person told me that when you are choosing your mate, run for God and then look around to see who's running as fast as you or faster. And that was you. And another thing that I knew is that if I didn't serve God, that you would continue to serve God. So that was important to me as well. And then secondly, that you share the same vision, you're united in what you plan to do in your life. So those were very important things to me as to how to choose whether you were the one or not, right?
Right. And for me, having never dated anyone before you, I knew that I needed to make sure that when I started dating that it was the right person. And so we had gone out on one date together, and I went home and I said, okay, I'm going to seek the Lord on this before we continue to go out on dates. And the reason is because the Bible says clearly that our heart is really deceptive. And a lot of problems that young people get into is that they start dating people and they start going out and they give their heart away. They never know if it's reality because their heart has already been given to that person.
Right.
And so I didn't give my heart to you before I knew that you were the one. I had sought the Lord on it, and now here we are, like you said, almost 14 years later, and we have a really good life. We're really blessed. We have a great son, and God is faithful, and we still love each other, which a lot of people can't say even after 2 years.
True.
We've been married for 7 years already, and our marriage has been great. So we really have to learn how to basically deal with conflict, because conflict can up all the time, especially working in the same office, working in the same ministry, seeing each other's face all the time. So for us, how to deal with conflict is we just agreed and really talked it through that we're not gonna try to fight or have an argument in public or in front of people. If we do that, it causes our spouse to feel this big. When they feel this big, they can just withdraw, right? And cause more argument when you go home, or cause more fight.
So when we got married, we thought, we're going to have such a strong and vital marriage because we have so much in common. And for our first year of marriage, it was like heaven on earth. It was the honeymoon period, and I was so happy. We were both so happy with what we were doing with each other, with the ministry, everything. But into our second year of marriage, I began to see some cracks showing. And we started fighting more, we started getting hurt more, and by the end of that second year, our marriage was just disintegrating. And I began to cry out to the Lord and say, God, if you don't intervene here, we're not going to make it. We were just at the point where we could not agree on anything. We were just at a stalemate, and I didn't know what else to do. And one day God began to speak to me very clearly, and He said, if you will pray for your husband every day for an hour, all will be well. And I thought, all? And God said, all. All means all. So I did. I began to pray for him every day. And within 3 months, I started seeing some improvement. I think that I saw God changing him. And my prayer wasn't about God change him, but I was just praying God's will into his life. Psalm 1, Psalm 91, those kinds of things.
So that's what we do with our marriage. We put Jesus right in the center of it all. So that when conflicts happen, when stuff happens, we can just look to Jesus.
Hi everyone, it's good to be here. Ken and I have been married a long time and it's really been awesome. But I will say that anyone anticipating marriage has to realize that marriages do not just take place automatically. In fact, they have to be worked at very much. So the attitude of a guy and a girl should be, number one, commitment, and number two, dedication to each other and to the things of God. And in the marriage, there has to be many factors which you use. Number one, I think you have to be respectful to your spouse. You have to be kind, to be generous, all those things which we already know, but within a marriage, you have to do them very specially. And overall is using God's love in every situation in respect to your husband.
And to make a marriage work, you have to make sure that you give your spouse top priority in your life. And that means waking up in the morning and wondering, how can I bless God and how can I bless my wife, Donna? And we have sometimes joked in saying that if you leave me, I'm coming with you. And it's not good to discuss separation or marriage or anything. Don't let that even be part of your vocabulary, but be committed to God and to your wife and put her first in everything and your marriage will last. So our advice is to be committed to one another and put God first and then make sure that your spouse is honored in every way in your life. God bless you.
You know what? I'll tell you, it is wonderful to have a partner that really that you come alongside with. It says one will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000, but there's a real strength in that. But you know what? Marriage is not about me, it's about us and about we, and laying down our lives as Christ laid down life for His church.
And I think the secret of a good, successful marriage, at least as successful as we've been, has been to be on the same page and the same vision. And we knew that right from the very beginning. You know, it's easy to look back and say, well, we did this right, we did that wrong. But one thing that we did right, honey, was that we met each other in the ministry and we saw the heart that each other had, and that's what we went for, and decided that we could do this together through a long life of, agreement and exceptional, you know, just the increase that comes when you have a partner that you're walking with agreement in all the time.
It is, and you know that Christ should always be the center.
That's right. So we want you to come back next week for some more Great Commission action from this side of the Continuum. We bless you.